What's up, guys? Good morning. We made it through the night. We were trying to go fishing at like 5 a.m., but it's like 7-ish now because we slept in a little bit. We were up late just kind of goofing around, watching movies, getting stuff ready. But I think we're going to go jump out on the docks right now, get into some fish. Got my boy Brandon right here. Got my boy Ryan right here. And we're going to go try to tackle some snapper, maybe some jack this morning. I think it'll be a bunch of fun, so don't go nowhere. Yeah.
Straight out from the island, Caye Caulker.
Stay tuned.
Pretty cool little spot, you guys. It's actually one of my favorite old school places. You just come post up and fish. You can see there's an old boy fishing down there already, but pretty awesome. Lazy lizard bar right at the split. So what you're seeing here is Caye Caulker is actually kind of two islands, right? You got the main island where Caye Caulker Village is, and it's got the airport and the city and all of kind of the main structure of Caye Caulker. And a few years back, like early 60s is when it first started, a hurricane like ran a little water through the middle of the split. The island was almost like a kind of figure 8 shape. There was a real skinny point in the middle where it got real like just sand strip of like a little bit of water could run through, almost swampy. And the hurricane put a little channel through. Some locals dug it out so they could get their boat through. The next hurricane just washed the whole thing out, and like a whole bar and a bunch of docks and all the stuff that was here all got washed down into the bottom of this channel that they call the split. And right down inside this channel, there's actually kind of an artificial reef across the bottom that really fills up with a lot of fish. And the whole other island, still considered Caye Caulker, even though there's this channel in between, the whole other island runs off that way into the distance. And that's where I got a little piece of land. That's where we got some homies. And we're gonna go off an adventure section, check out that other island here later on. But for today, we just wanted to come down, look at the split for a minute as the sun came up. I hadn't been here yet. It's one of my favorite zones. So beautiful. But we're gonna go to the far other side of the island and check out the mangroves and find the docks and some of the coves back there, because that's where we think some of the big snapper we want to get into this morning are gonna be. So from one end of Caye Caulker to the other, we're gonna go smash some fish. Don't go nowhere, you're watching The Bite. Time to do a quick Yui. We're gonna swing back, pick up some bait, and then continue on our way. We probably don't need a whole 10, right? Just good, just good. Right behind me, somewhere right here. We'll see one roll in a second. See that right there? All of these fish rolling right behind me here are big tarpon. Like anywhere from 5, 10 to 50 pounds. That one right over there is probably a 50 pounder sitting there in the shallows. They're swimming slowly in and out underneath this dock. There's a bunch of other fish in here. Some beautiful black snapper. That's right there, big black snapper. Look at these big black snappers right here. So we just made our bait stop. We're gonna head out to the other side of the island and try to get into some fish now. How wild was all of those tarpon and those black snappers? We just got out past the airport on the far end of the island. We're about to enter this area tucked against the nature reserve. Go all the way out past that and go find some cutty little docks and some mangrove patches to go fish in. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun as we get into this mangrove thicker, jungly, more native reserve zone, you start to see all kinds of like jungle life and animals and land crabs and stuff that you know, is retreated away from the city back into this area that has still kind of been set aside to be wild and nature a little bit more. So we're gonna get up in there. It's gonna be cool.
It's my cousin right here, Christian, man. They built them. Oh, Ninja.
You guys, we got out to our little dock spot. It's a beautiful little dock on the far end of the island that Ryan seems to think is going to be holding the most black snapper opportunities this morning, and we want to fry a couple of those up tonight. So it's real windy out here, but we're going to get set up, get into a little bit of fishing, and hopefully we can put something on real quick. First fish of the trip.
Right.
Brandon is on. It's just a little grunt.
I'm gonna throw him back.
Yeah.
He's a little fun size.
He's a little fun size. That's, I mean, as the day gets on, we'll start eating those.
Yeah,
But that thing, we'll let that thing go, and we'll start catching some bigger fish.
Bigger fish out there.
But that's one down, right? Well, you guys, the weather is turning on us rapidly out here, and you can probably see behind me there's some storm clouds rolling in, a little bit of murk starting to form, and we're going to try to get back to the spot before it starts to rain too hard. We're maybe 20 minutes golf cart ride to the other side of the island, which is only a couple of miles, so you can imagine it's quite a zigzag for it to take us 20 minutes to get there, and we want to get out of here before the rain hits. So we might fish some more tonight, go get some snacks or something like that, but we're at least going to go try to hide out for this rainstorm. So Brandon's making a last cast. I got a line soaking. I'm going to pack up my gear, and we're going to get out of here.
Rain is coming.
So look at this. You heard me saying a little bit of rain was going to come in on us, and did it. Pass over. When I was telling you that it's going to rain here in a second, that was literally just like a minute ago. And woo! Try to bring it down. Look, see how beautiful it is off in the distance over there? Beautiful blue sky, it's nice and sunny. Farther back this way you go, the gnarlier it gets. That's just a storm of ugliness back there. We're hoping that back off this way, see that blue sky over there? That blue sky is gonna come back and join us, so we'll have a real pretty sunset and get into some evening fish. So Well, that dock was beautiful and a lot of fun to fish, but right now the current's pushing pretty hard and the wind's coming in pretty strong from the outside. So we're gonna go to the back of the island where it's gonna calm down a little bit and try to get into some, what do you see, fish? The square foam though. These guys are looking for a square grouper. Every now and then you find a square grouper out here floating in the bushes. Find a square grouper in the mangroves. It's like finding a new boat. So. We're adventuring down a road that just cuts into the jungle here. And homie just said, I'm not sure, but I think that goes through too. It's got to be a pretty ghetto road for one of these dudes to not be sure if it goes through. Right? Like if you don't know, then. It just smells like swamp back here.
I don't think we'll make it.
I don't think you see that deep pits up farther?
Solid, no sides?
Now for Gorong, man, don't forget that.
It smells real swampy back here. You guys have probably been noticed we've been rocking our masks most of the day. There's a pretty strict mask mandate on the island, and when you're in public, when you're near people, when you're out on the beaches, when you're at any of the restaurants, any of those kinds of locations, you gotta have your mask on. Even if you're just driving down the road, you gotta have your mask on. We're real pretty cut back into the bush right now, and I think I can get away with having it off to talk to you guys for a second. But if we came around the corner and pulled up on some cops, I might get a ticket even right now for having my mask off. So it's a different kind of mask mandate than in the States. This is a nationwide, national Belizean health mandatory mask mandate. So you'll probably see me have my mask on most of the trip, unless we're kind of like tucked away by ourselves. Yeah, in the back like this, or at the house or something like that, out on the boat. But if you catch me on the streets, you probably catch me masked up, baby. We just got back to the next location, tucked up into the mangroves on the back of the island, and I guess these guys have already spotted a couple of black snapper right here, and the water clarity back here is nice and clear, and I think that there's going to be a good chance that there's going to be some barracuda back here willing to take this lure once they can see it. So we're going to do a little bit more fishing, and we will share and show off anything that happens with y'all. Look at that. It's not a real monster, but that's my first fish of the trip. Pretty little barracuda. Oh man, he's got these hooks all up in his mouth, and he's got serious teeth.
That could actually be breakfast.
Yeah, put it in a
Could be.
bucket.
I mean, I think I'm gonna let this one go just because it is pretty small, and it's my first fish of the trip, like we were saying.
Yeah, first trip, put them back.
Yep. Whoa, 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 whoa. I'm gonna let this one go because he's just a little guy, but these little barracudas are actually killer eating, and if we get one just a little bit larger, we're definitely taking him home with us. And you know, it's fun though. First fish of the trip, nice predator gnarly barracuda. Woo. And he's gone. Well, you guys, we went and we hit the back for a bit, caught a couple of small snappers and that little barracuda. Nothing real impressive or fancy, but it was a fun way to kill some time for a little bit. We're gonna go hit up another on like the kind of inner backside of the island and see if maybe there's some fish back there. And if not, we'll go find something out front. It's gonna be time to get some lunch here in a minute and just enjoy some of the island vibe. So it was fun to break the skunk, get a little fish on the line. Woo! That all is back there. Just awesome. You getting pics? That's what we like to hear. It's one of my favorite places to fish in the world. It's awesome to get to like come down and do it for a little bit. This particular spot, and we haven't fished here at all yet. I don't know if you guys can see because of how dark it is. There's an itty bitty little silk snapper. Pretty little fish though. Put it back in the water. If it was a few hours later in the night, we'd be fishing with that thing live. Send it out there for a real big fish. Well, you guys, today was an absolutely awesome day out here. The last 2 days were absolutely awesome. I got in last night and didn't really do a whole lot except for like say hi to some people and get a little bit moved in and get settled. By the time I got off the water taxi, evening was coming on, and there's a curfew on the island right now, so all the restaurants and bars close at 7, and then you got to be home and inside your yard or your property line by 8 p.m. Until 5 a.m. So it kind of works out for fishing a little bit, except for I really like fishing the late night around here. Hopefully that curfew is going to let up in a little bit as COVID relaxes, and we'll be able to fish the nighttime a little bit. But it was super fun to explore the island a little bit, see how much more it's been built out and grown up. I haven't been here in almost 10 years, and there's so much more development. Some resorts have gone up in some places where there wasn't really much before. Some places where there was just shanty houses. There's like really big, beautiful places now. You know, sometimes when big resorts and more money and more development comes into an area, it can really kind of destroy the beauty and the quaintness of a place. But I feel like Caye Caulker has done a decent job of preserving its real vibe and its energy while renovating some of its back streets and stuff. There's a whole new village that's just like really been developed, and they started to build stuff there. They call it the new site, but now it's like really turned into a whole nother little town over on the other side of the island. And we did a bunch of fishing today. We didn't really catch anything that I would call impressive. We didn't bring anything home to eat. A couple of little barracudas, but we just put all that stuff back into the ocean. And most of the day was just exploring, getting some good food, checking out the sunset. It was a really awesome sunset. And going down to the Split, hanging out with some friends, and just getting the energy on. So we've got a couple of fishing trips lined up for the next couple of days, but at least getting here and doing a little fishing and showing off the island and stuff. That's going to be this, you know, intro video, day 1 and 2. I think over the next couple of days, I'm going to go maybe stock these flats back behind here. There's tarpon and bonefish just galore. I saw big schools of bonefish today on the and all the other lagoons and mangrove patches around the island also hold big black snapper and tarpon, hermit, snook. There's a bunch of snook out here right here, they say. You know, a couple of dozen species of snapper and grunt and snapper-like fish, and there's going to be a lot of fishing opportunities coming up. So definitely stay tuned to this little series if you want to see me smash some big saltwater fish, and hopefully cool vibes and energy of the island and a couple little fish that we did catch today are enough to keep you guys satisfied. So thanks for watching The Bite. Hit the little sub, hit the little thumbs up. Stay tuned for more awesome Asher's Belizean adventures.